So first of all, let me preface this by saying this is my list. Again, this is my list, and of course with my list we're going to have some arbitrary rules, and some are very simple. One, Joelle Embiid will not be above Nicole Jokic because Jokic is MVP. Damien Lillard will not be above Anthony Davis because Anthony Davis is a better player than Damien Lillard. Alright, I think those are my two arbitrary rules. Actually, I got one more, and this one's regarding Luca. Luca's going to be below a couple of players. You guys might think he's a bit too low, but his offense just isn't elite enough to put him in that other category of players because it doesn't give you anything on defense. So, there we go. Those are my arbitrary rules. Also, Kawhi Leonard's on this list because we're being consistent. People called Kawhi or Kevin Durant the best player in the world when they won Finals MVP, even though LeBron was still playing. Even though LeBron was injured in 2019's first year with the Lakers with the groin injury. So, being consistent, that's why he's still on the list. I do not think he's going to play next year at all. I do think he re-signs with the Clippers, but that's all I got. Let's get into this top 20. So, number 20, Zion Williamson. Just excellent force in the interior. Number 1 overall draft pick a couple years back. A great player. Not great. He's good. Let me be careful. Good player. Still has to work on his game when it comes to improving his jump shot, free throws, and of course improving his body in general. But good player. Number 20. 19. Chris Paul. I feel like his leadership is a bit overrated, just a tad, but it is proven everywhere he goes. They do improve and win more. So gotta give credit to Chris Paul for helping the Phoenix Suns get to the finals. 18, Zach Levine. This one of the few guys that missed the playoffs on this list, but he's just really good. Super athletic. He's improved his game so much from when we first saw him as, you know, the guy that was just dunking in the dunk contest on the Timberwolves back then. Gotten so much better. Unfortunately, he plays for the Chicago Bulls, so he's kind of fucked. Number 17, Trae Young. Him and Devin Booker are going to be on this list together. Booker is just right above him. Well, spoiler alert. But yeah, Trae Young. He's finally, made that leap into the playoffs. Unfortunate that he got injured in such the way he did, just with a freak accident by stepping on the ref's foot. But yeah, he and Devin Booker have shown that they're not empty stats guys. If you actually put a good team around them, they can help you win. And yeah, he made noise in the playoffs. 48 points against the Bucks in game 1. Believe he dropped 40 against the Sixers in the game. So, terrific player, terrific playmaker. Defense isn't good. Foul baits a tad too much, but still a good player. Devin Booker, I'm going to say the same thing, but mid-range maestro. He is better on defense than Trae Young. Good at getting to the rim and finishing. Again, multiple 40-point games in the finals, even though they lost all those games he dropped 40 in. Just showing when you get these guys a good team and a good roster, they can help you win. So, yeah, Booker is at 16. Number 15 is Bradley Beal. He's just trapped in Washington. The Westbrook-Beal duo didn't work out, and it's not because Westbrook and Beal wouldn't work out. I just don't think the roster around them would have been good enough. And that's obvious because they had to fight their way in to get to the play-in. So, yeah. But Beal running up in the scoring title this year. Terrific scorer. Trapped in Washington, though. Donovan Mitchell. No, he's 14. Is that low? No, it's not low. He's a proven playoff performer, but the Utah Jazz aren't. And while he's a good playmaker, good driver, it's really improved his jump shot when he's coming to the league. Well, not when he was coming to the league, like before he came to the league. So I remember he wasn't the best shooter at Louisville. But yeah, he's a proven playoff performer. He's got it, but his team doesn't have it. And he can work on his defense. He can work on his shot selection because in the playoffs, for those last couple of games, I did feel like he was forcing things a bit too much. And he would be prone to take some dumbass shots like Jordan Clarkson on the Utah Jazz. But yeah, an awesome young player, really good. Just Utah, they just got to be better as a whole defensively. because while Rudy Gobert is an excellent interior defender, if you have a bunch of guys that can't do jack shit on the perimeter, you're gonna, get him exposed, like what happened this year against the Clippers. So, yeah. 13, Luca Doncic. Again, he's a proven playoff performer. He just, the Mavericks, they can't get it done. The excuse the first year was that Porzingis was playing good and he got hurt, and that's why they lost against the Clippers. And I'm like, alright, I'll buy that. But second year, Porzingis doesn't play as well, but Luca did improve. He did make some strides forward. But, big but, they take a 2-0 lead, and then they lose 2 at home. But guess what? They win the third game, and they got a chance to close it out in 6 at Dallas. They don't get the job done. Not to say that's because, one, role players weren't playing as well as they did in the first couple of games, and because Luca, being that his conditioning isn't there yet, he does fade in the second half of these games. So he can put up like 38 points, and he'll give you an efficient 25 in the first half. But then, he only puts up 7 in the second half. He just doesn't have it because he's not, conditioned. And his free throws are an issue because, he'll shoot 50% from the three-point line, and he'll shoot 50% from the free throw line. That's not good, and that's what's holding him back from being, in the top 10. Because his offense isn't all the way there yet. Because again, those free throws is a hole in his game. He does fade in the second half of these games. And of course, defense. Yeah, because there's gonna be other guys on this list above him that aren't great defenders. They can give you something on defense, with the couple exceptions of a couple other players. But those other players have the elite offense where I can let it slide, but they're not good on defense. Luca he doesn't have it yet. So that's why I got Luca 13th. Paul George, number 12. Playoff P, Way Off P, George Paul, Pandemic P. All the names this man has had for having bad playoff performances, and he had some stinkers. I'm not gonna act like he didn't have some stinkers when they was calling him Pandemic P for a reason. But he shook it off, was a lot better, a lot more consistent. Even though he had a couple of stinkers this year in the playoffs, you guys have to remember that he is a jump shooter, and jump shooters, they go cold, well then they're gonna have a bad night. But he was still good to get at the free throw line, still brings it on defense. So yeah, I can't complain too much about Paul George, but I think number 12 is good for him. Number 11, Jayson Tatum. Alright, he's able to steal one game against the Brooklyn Nets because his terrific offense, and without Jaylen Brown, I hate putting him on this list because he is a Celtic, but awesome player to watch. Really like watching Jayson Tatum, and yeah, he brings it on defense as well. You just gotta wait to see how he develops because the game's gonna start slowing down a bit more for him, and it'll be interesting to see how he takes his game to that next level. Does he get in these MVP conversations? But that rounds off the first half of the list, and now we go into the top 10 NBA players for the 2021-22 season. So number 10, Damien Lillard, aka Dame Time, proven clutch play in the playoffs, couple of buzzer beaters to end series, and of course, one of the best playoff games we ever seen, but in a loss with the 55 against Denver. But yeah, it's unfortunate because he plays on Portland, and Portland's content of being, an 8 through 6 seed year in and year out, and they want to make the right moves or fully commit to winning a championship, which will result in Dame getting traded after this season. But he's an awesome player. Do I think it's a tad bit overrated? Yes, because you have folks say that he's better than Steph Curry, even though in the playoffs that's obviously not true. Also because you had folks saying that he was better than Anthony Davis and that they should trade AD for him. Doesn't make any sense. But yeah, Damian Lillard, number 10, and number 9, because being that we mentioned Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis should be a top 5 player in the league when he's on, but he wasn't on this year. You can say that's due to the injuries, you can say that's due to the short off season, but it's obvious he was, off a bit this year because his free throw percentage dropped down by 12%. He shot 73% this year. He's in 85, 84. So it is a bit concerning, and of course he did get injured in the playoffs and in the regular season. So your main concern with him is his health, and sometimes his motor isn't all the way there. He's not being the most aggressive player, but still, top 5 talent, excellent two-way player, can score at all 3 levels. Not a great 3-point shooter, not even a good one, but he can stretch the floor from the 5, and he plays his best at the 5. So, AD, play at the 5 a bit more. But there you go. There's number 9. Number 8 is James Harden, forced sweat at Houston. Looked out of shape, but yeah, he proved that. Well, he showed that he wasn't out of shape when he got to Brooklyn. He also showed that he had no problem taking the back seat and taking on the playmaking role, when that was one of Brooklyn's initial concerns. You know, there's only one basketball, and you got 3 terrific isolation scorers. But yeah, if you want to worry about his terrific playmaking, you should be now, because he was awesome. I believe he had like some games where he almost had 20 assists, but I know he had games where he had like 14, 15, over 20 points. So, a great playmaker, member of the big 3 in Brooklyn, force to be reckoned with on offense, MVP James Harden. And number 7th, our runner-up for this year's MVP, Joelle Embiid. And yeah, he made the step that I wanted Anthony Davis to make coming into the season, but played great basketball throughout the year. The reason why he didn't win the MVP because he just missed a tad too many games, but had an awesome MVP caliber season. Unfortunately, they didn't advance as far as they wanted to in the playoffs because they were upset by the Atlanta Hawks. But I feel like you can blame more of that on Ben Simmons compared to the Hawks just being that much better than them, because I don't think the Hawks were better than them. They played better, but yeah, you had Ben Simmons not show up yet. Tobias Harris had a couple of stinkers. Only issue that Joel had in those playoffs were his turnovers, but I can't be too mad at that when you have your guard, your playmaker that doesn't want to score the ball when he's wide open. Can't be too mad at that. So Joel Embiid at number 7, Nicole Jokic at number 6, the MVP from the Denver Nuggets. Yeah, he didn't miss a single game. He played great throughout the year. He played great in the playoffs. He did get ejected, and was it game 3 or game 4? He got ejected in the playoff game. Yeah, Denver just didn't have enough after Jamal Murray went down, and Michael Porter Jr. has developed. He is getting better. He's a terrific scorer, but he still has to work on, passing the ball a bit, because every shot he sees is a good shot to him. But he develops more, he'll be good. Only issue with Nikola Jokic, I'll have to say currently, is that 1, he doesn't get to the free throw line enough, and his defense isn't good, but he runs your offense. He can give you 30 and 10 a night, and yeah, I mean, he's the MVP for a reason. And now we're heading into our top 5 players. Top 5. Obvious names. These aren't going to shock anyone. The order shouldn't be shocking anyone as well. But let's get into it. Number 5, the greatest shooter of all time, the 2-time MVP, the first unanimous MVP, Steph Curry. Won the scoring title this year because he had to put the Warriors on his back, but it wasn't enough because 1, they just couldn't advance to play-in. They had a tough game against the Lakers, which would have been a classic. But yeah, they just fell short in their second play-in game. So it happens. But Steph Curry, all-time great player, all-time great point guard. We'll see how they bounce back if Clay is able to give it to you on offense, because I don't think his defense is going to be there. At least, well, I don't think he'll be there like back then at all because he is older. But if he can give it to you on offense and play just a bit of perimeter defense, I think they'll be fine. They should be able to make some noise in the playoffs. I don't think they'll be championship contenders because I'll have to get another star. But there's your 5th best player in the league, Steph Curry. Number 4 is Kawhi Leonard. Even though he's on the list and I believe he will not be playing at all next year, he's still just one of the best players in the league. Him in the playoffs is something different. Like, just elevates his game to another level in the playoffs. Had some great performances against the Mavericks, where he's just super efficient, killing them from every spot on the floor, in the mid-range, the interior, from 3, can lock up, get big stops. Yeah, just terrific two-way player, terrific all-around player. And yeah, it's a shame that he won't be playing next season for the Clippers. But I had to put him on the list because he's just that good. He's just that good. Number 3 is LeBron James. Now, all you LeBron James fans, do not get mad at me. This is not a low ball at all. And the fact that this man is 36 going on 37 is still a top 3 player in the league is a testament to his greatness. But we have to be real here. He's not going to be the undisputed best player in the league anymore. And it's been like that since he's got to LA. And if you watch the Lakers, you would know that. I'm not a LeBron stan, not a LeBron hater. But yeah, it's obvious that he is slowing down a bit. But him slowing down doesn't mean he's not a great player. So, don't take it hard that he's number 3 when you think he should be number 1. Like, LeBron's a great player. Plays for the Lakers. Awesome. Brought the Lakers championship with Anthony Davis last year. Appreciate it. But, yeah, he's currently 3rd best player in the league. Don't think that's too bad. I really don't think that's too bad. But number 2, Kevin Durant. Now this may be shocking because, well, he was the best player on the court against the Brooklyn Nets and no, not against the Nets, against the Milwaukee Bucks. And if his shoe size was just, his actual shoe size, they would have sent Milwaukee home. And well, I don't care. I don't care. Awesome player, one of the best scorers of all time. Has everything, like when it comes to scoring. Handle, can finish, can shoot, mid-range, 3. Yeah, he's 7 feet tall, so it's very difficult to block his shot. Yeah, the reason why he's not the best player because he wasn't the last team standing, and you may say that's being a prisoner of the moment, but I don't think so because I'm going to adjust these rankings by the first 20 games of next season and then the All-Star break. But yeah, currently as it stands, he's the 2nd best player in the league. Again, that's not too bad, man. That's not too bad for an MVP and a 2-time Finals MVP. Alright, and our best player going into the 2021-22 season is Giannis Antetokounmpo, NBA Finals MVP. He did close out the Phoenix Suns with 50, 14, and 5. Shot 17 from 19 from the free throw line with an all-time great performance in a closeout game, which is an all-time great finals performance, period, because he did average 35, 14, and 5, around 60% shooting, and he was given to you on both ways, getting like over, I believe, 12 blocks in this series. So, awesome player, great two-way player. He's what I want Anthony Davis to be when it comes to his pure aggression, when it comes to getting to the hoop. But yeah, man. Finals MVP, 2-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. Currently the best player in the league. Yes, these rankings can change by the All-Star break within the first 20 games of the season next year. But currently, he is the best player in the league. And without the way, that is my top 20 players for this year. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all stay safe, and I'm out.